Hey guys, this is David Farkas with Red Dot Forum. Today, we're going to take a closer look at the brand new Leica 75mm f1.25 Noctilux. So stick around. Back in November, Leica announced a new M lens, the 75mm Noctilux-M f1.25 Aspheric, and today we have one of the first shipping production units here in the studio. The 75mm Noctilux is the fastest 75mm lens Leica has ever produced. At first, I thought this lens seemed like an odd decision, but the idea of a 75mm Noctilux has started to grow on me. The original Mandler-designed 75mm Summilux f1.4 was based on his groundbreaking 50mm Noctilux f1.0. And more recently, Peter Karba, the current head of optics at Leica, followed Mandler's lead when he designed the incredible 75mm Apo Summicron based on his own revolutionary 50mm Summilux Aspheric. Then consider there hasn't been a replacement for the 75 Lux since it was discontinued back in 2004, almost 15 years ago. So bringing a super fast 75mm into the lineup actually makes some sense, especially one building on the premise of the 50mm 0.95. And with a 50% longer focal length and a bit shorter minimum focus distance, the depth of field on the 75 is actually only half that of the 50mm Noctilux. Looking at the sample images, bokeh junkies will have plenty to like here. The results just ooze creamy Leica goodness. But this lens isn't just made for pretty bokeh. It's got exceptional imaging performance thanks to a brand new and quite complex optical design. 9 elements in 6 groups, all made from glass with high anomalous partial dispersion and low chromatic dispersion, 2 of which are spherical, and 3 rear elements that move in a floating lens group. That floating lens element group moves at a different rate through the focus range, allowing for correction from the minimum focus distance of 0.85 meters all the way to infinity. And an 11 blade aperture guarantees out of focus elements are rendered without any harsh angles. So how does it perform in the real world? Fine details, even wide open, are stunningly sharp. The fall off to out of focus is fast and smooth. Contrast is excellent, and vignetting is almost non-existent. Taking a look at the MTF charts, you can see why. Even at f1.25, the lens is resolving 40 line pairs per millimeter at over 60% contrast. Stop down to f2 and the Noctilux is at least on par with the 75 Apo Summicron. By 5.6, performance is reference class. This is a serious lens. The 75 Noctilux now holds the distinction of being the heaviest M lens made to date, and the most expensive at $12,795. This class-leading lens is spendy for sure, but capable of producing truly unique images. Tipping the scales at over a full kilo, over 2 pounds for those in the US, this is no lightweight lens. To go along with that heft is a massive, for M at least, 67mm front diameter. If you thought the 50mm 0.95 was a beast, just wait till you see the 75. To be on the safe side, Leica is including a tripod mount for the lens, so you don't run the risk of damaging the mount on your M10. But really, who are they kidding? Like this lens will ever find its way into a tripod. No, the 75 Noctilux is an available light behemoth for handheld shooting. Unless, of course, you're thinking of using it for video and cine applications. Then I might find its way into a tripod. I know quite a few filmmakers who love the 50 Noctilux, so I'm sure the 75 will be on their radar. Let's take a look inside and see what comes in the box. All right, so let's take a look inside. Opening up the silver box. Right on top, you can see we've got our paperwork in a sleeve. So this is going to be the instructions, the guarantee card, and the test certificate. Pulling out the foam divider. We've got the inside components. So let me pull all these out, put them on the table so we can take a look at each one. Okay, so basically it comes with 4 items. Here is a standard Leica leather lens pouch with a zipper closure. We have an extra cap, actually, because there is one that comes in here. But this is a snap-on cap, a 67mm front cap, and you'll notice it's actually for the SL, for the recently introduced Apo Summicron lenses, which are also 67mm. This is the case for the tripod foot that comes with the lens, which I'll show you in a minute. And then here we have the lens itself. So opening up the box, got a nice little presentation box, and you can see we've got the lens itself. It's definitely a weighty lens. You can just feel it in your hands. It feels like a solid chunk of glass through and through. Removing the push-on metal lens cap, we can actually see that glorious front element there. I'll take off the rear cap as well. And you can take a look through there. Looks super nice, just amazingly clear. Awesome optics, and build quality is as you would expect. It's just amazing. Super smooth aperture, going from 1.25 to 16. But I imagine you're shooting a lens like this, you're not gonna spend a lot of time shooting at f11 or f16. As you can see here, the depth of field scale is ridiculously small, even fully stopped down. On the focus scale, we go infinity, and the lens does extend a bit down to 0.85 meters or 2.8 feet. And that is definitely improvement over the 50 Noctilux, which focuses down to 1 meter minimum distance. Gonna stop the aperture down so you can see it there. We got 11 blades, count them up, and that gives us for a really nice circular opening at all settings. Let me throw it on a couple cameras here so you can get an idea of the size. First up, we've got an M10 here. I'm gonna throw the lens on there. Mounts nicely, as you might imagine. When you hold the camera, you definitely feel the weight of that lens pulling down a little bit. It's a nice combination. Obviously, they look like they go together, but it is a little bit front heavy. Do be aware that rangefinder focusing is going to be a little bit of a challenge on this lens because the depth of field is literally half a millimeter at minimum distance wide open. That is just insane. So you're going to want to use the VisuFlex magnified, use your focus aids, use focus magnification, use focus peaking, and I think it'll be a lot easier for you than if you just try to go it alone with the rangefinder old school. It does look nice. Be aware that the lens actually is taller than the body. So when you set it down, it does wobble a little bit. Just something to be aware of. Don't be alarmed, and definitely be careful when you put it down because it is going to go lens first. Give you a little size comparison. Let me throw it on the SL. So I've got here the SL with an M adapter. Just going to put the lens on. Mounts nicely. And actually, balance-wise, this feels a little more right. It feels a little more balanced because obviously SL lenses are a little larger. The camera itself has more heft to it. It's got the grip. So I can actually hold this one-handed pretty well, and it balances nicely. So it's a pretty good look right there. And the benefit you'll have to shooting with the SL is you have the massive EVF, 4.4 megapixel EVF, and just with a single press on the rear button here, brings you to 100% magnification with manual lenses, like the 75 Noctilux here. So this is going to be a pretty easy kit to focus and achieve focus. So I'd say if you really are looking for the look of the 75 Noctilux, seriously consider using it on an SL body. I think it'll be easier and much higher hit rate on your results than if you use it on an M body. Not to say you can't use it on an M body, it is an M lens. Obviously the best body to use an M lens on is an M10, but I wouldn't rule out the SL for this purpose. All right, so let's take a look at the tripod foot. It comes in a nice case here. We'll open that up and you can see, remove it there. The tripod foot is made out of a single block of aluminum. It has the attachment point 1/4-20 for the tripod. This little lever here tightens the screw that attaches to the lens, and you have a registration pin there. It has a curved outline here to match up with the lens, and felt to not damage or scratch the lens itself. So let me just turn that over, and you can see the 1/4-20 screw area here and the registration pin. So we'll just line that up like so. We just give it a couple turns and it tightens right onto the lens. You can tuck the little wrench away and you can see the tripod foot right there. So very substantial, feels like it's one solid piece. So for those who are actually going to use the 75 Noctilux on a tripod, this is a great way to go because it takes the stress off the lens mount. The other thing I want to show you on the lens is the slide out shade is actually a twist, and you can see the grooves on the inside. And this is really nice. I think it's a big step up from the 50 Noctilux because it doesn't get pushed in by accident. You just have to give it a little twist. So very nice. The Leica Noctilux-M 75mm f1.25 aspheric is now shipping with a price of $12,795. You can pre-order the lens at Leica Store Miami by clicking the link in the description below. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please give us a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this in the future, be sure to subscribe to the channel. As always, check out red.forum.com for the latest Leica news, reviews, show reports, and more. We'll see you next time.